Welcome back. I am Amanda Bell Newcomb with Root Cause Podcast, and we have Kaleb Dinwiddie, and then we also have Miss Michelle Tressel with MyAgData today. So I just want to welcome you. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for being a part of this, and we thoroughly have enjoyed working with you and Chad both. So for the moment, I'd like to get started with asking kind of about your ag background and how your career path led you to get to MyAgData.
Yeah. Well, first off, it has just been a joy to get to know both of you, and your passion for agriculture shines through. And it's always really fun to find like-minded people in industry. So thank you for having me on. So my background is I think really different from a lot of people in agriculture, and also very similar to a lot of people in agriculture. I have about 35 years of experience. I have worked in agriculture. I worked at Cargill at one point in my career, also worked across healthcare and financial services, and came back to agriculture about 4 years ago to lead MyAgData. And what I think is the most interesting part of my background, and I'm most proud of, is I graduated with one of the smallest graduating classes that you guys will probably ever have heard of. And I challenge you and your listeners to beat me. I grew up in Manitoba in a very small farming community. My parents had the welding company that served the growers right in the field. By the way, you really can't do a lot of that anymore. But I would quite often be out with my dad out in the truck, fixing machinery in either harvest or seeding time period. And I graduated with 11 kids. So put a poll out, ask your listeners if anyone else graduated with 11 kids. And what that means is you never date anyone in your class, number one. And number two, you don't have enough kids where you can even play baseball. So it was just a very different way to grow up than a lot of kids today.
So it was 10 plus you or 11 plus you?
No, 10 plus me, 3 girls. And I like to tell my kids that I was female athlete of the year in my high school. And I don't highlight the fact there was only 3 of us, so I had a pretty good chance.
Yeah, so that's good. So where are you coming to today? Where are you from? Where are you at today?
So I'm in Minnesota today. Our headquarters are in Fargo, so I split my time between Fargo and Minnesota. And I'm also on the road all the time. I was in Iowa last week. I think this is the first week I'm in town all week in a couple of months. It's been a while, so I'm excited to be at home.
It's been a grueling travel season, hasn't it?
First of all, the year usually is. Yep.
Yeah, you guys are on the road all the time too.
Yeah, usually those first three months of the year are pretty extensive with the conferences. So with your background and kind of coming to here, so what keeps you passionate to be involved daily in ag? Like what keeps you passionate and motivated moving each day?
Yeah, agriculture is. I think you have to have a lot of passion to be in agriculture. You know, I grew up in as I mentioned, in a very rural area where farming was the lifeblood of the community. And for me now, after I left home to go to college, and I never went back to Canada. I've been in the United States since then. And to bring, 35 years of experience, but having that history and that background and that, the way I grew up is very different. When you grow up in a rural farming community, family is very important. Faith is very important. Community is very important. It's very much a situation where you're trying to elevate the whole as opposed to just promote yourself. And for me, coming back to agriculture, meeting folks like you, we've already shared things about our businesses and how to help each other as we think about our organizations and how we can help farmers. I think that exciting ability to connect with someone in agriculture and know you've met another person who has the same passion as you to see farmers succeed across the nation and globally. So for me, it's a lot about the community and the passion that we all get from being here. And I will say right now is a really frustrating time to be in agriculture because there is so much we can't control. And it makes it even more important for those of us supporting farmers or being a farmer. It's even more important for us to stay close and connected because there is so much turmoil and things that are outside of our control. So knowing that I might be able to help a little bit there really gets me out of bed every day. And knowing that I can be helpful is really important to me, just as a person as well, and as a MyAgData company.
Well, I think that's why we all three connect so well, is we all have servant hearts at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The good Lord blessed us with that.
So we've signed up for MyAgData on our farm, and the July 15th reporting deadline is always terrible timing. We've never caught up farming, and it's family vacation time. So, but it's so critical because that's how our crop insurance gets going. So jump in and tell us what problem does MyAgData solve for we problematic farmers?
Yeah, it's actually really, really simple. We just remove the friction between the regulatory reporting. That's been our mission since 2012, is to help remove the friction of reporting with the USDA. What does it look like? It looks a little bit, there's a little more involved than what I just said in removing the friction. But what we do is we actually take all of that reporting burden off of you, and we help you report the way you farm. So for those of you that were at Commodity Classic and heard Brooke Rollins speak about One Farmer, One Form, this is actually what we've been working on since 2012. And in 2025, we were able to actually submit with 100% approval at the FSA the entire One Farmer, One File. For those of you that were there, Brooke Rollins talked about a 3-year rollout, 3-step program rollout. We actually are able to help you report that way today through MyAgData. So the way it works is what we've really done is we've digitized the acreage reporting process. So both to your FSA as well as the RMA. And we can do that either by using your common land units, which is the way most people farm today, or we have APIs built into your My John Deere Operations Center, to Climate, to Case IH, the Climate Field View. So we can also access, if you'd like, your actual farming data, and we can report that in to the RMA and FSA as well. Growers that choose to go ahead.
So the One Farmer, One File is RMA and FSA. Yep. So you don't have to fool your crop insurance agent as well.
No, it's the way we report. We've done 5 pilots with the FSA over the last 12 years. Our program fully launched last year, 100% success at FSA, also with RMA. So growers now only have to submit once. So we save you time because you're only submitting one file. Very, very similar to the One Farmer, One File. That data is yours. You submit what you want to report. With us, we collect your data for you. You review it. We never sell it. It's always yours. All we do is regulatory reporting. And then that is what is submitted in one file. If you choose to use your actual planted acreage, which this is the first time the FSA will accept your actual planted acreage. You guys know RMA has accepted actual planted acreage for a couple of years. This is the first time both FSA and RMA will accept your actual planted acreage as one file. If you choose to do that, you're going to save between 3 and 10% on your crop insurance. So 1,500 acre grower is going to save about $3,000.
So as a farmer, we run into this one. Our common land unit is 100 acres, but we're planting 103.
Yeah.
Can we certify the 3 acres that is not in the common land units at FSA?
You can. You absolutely can. What I will say is it's normally the other way around.
Correct.
We've seen across the board, we've never seen a farming operation that farms more land than they have common land units. We may see it on a common land unit basis. We might see maybe a couple of acres over here, but always on a farming operation perspective, it's between 3 and 10% overstated on common land units.
Yeah, overall, I do fit, but we do have like 7 tracks. So
Yeah.
they come up every time, it doesn't match. And so this is a match world. So yeah.
You absolutely can, you are absolutely allowed to report the way you farm. I think from a perspective of common land units, we think by knowing and seeing that difference between the way you actually farm and your common land unit, it also gives you the ability to start thinking, do I want to update my common land units? Is this something that we've got some growers in the South that have 10 to 12% differences, and they have really struggled. They're like, why are they so different? What can we do to make that better? And we can help in that case as well.
Yeah, if you're buying 75% coverage and taking a 12% hit, you're getting diluted pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it also impacts your APH, right? As you think about your APH, and I like to think about this even as a country. We know that we're no longer the lowest cost provider, right? We know that. However, are we really handicapping ourselves on our productivity? Because most growers are using common land units, which we know are overstated by at least about 5%. So we're actually 5% more productive as a country than we're reporting. So we are producing more per acre than we're reporting.
Okay, Michelle, that's enough talk about that.
Saying,
we got a glut. We need rid of it. That's enough. I mean, MyAgData buying barges of corn and beans, and that's what we need.
I am doing my best to eat as many Fritos as possible. I am.
All right, good. So it helps big and small. Doesn't matter the size of the operation. But from what I know about it, because I did pay a little, it's based on counties and crops, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm sorry for repeat the question.
The subscription. So it's based on a county level. If you're farming multiple counties, that's my question.
So no, the way you pay is you pay per farming operation. And so it doesn't matter how many counties you're in. It's by tax ID. So think very similar to the way you would file a TurboTax. So you pay once if you're going to do the work yourself. So it's just a flat fee, $250, and you can go ahead and do all of your work yourself. Or if you want us to do the data work for you, it's 50 cents an acre, and we'll do all of your precision data for you and all your submissions so that you can be at the lake over the July long weekend and not working on acreage reports.
Okay. Well, that's that's not.
Or finishing up whatever we didn't get planted or clean up side dress, whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If we're running behind.
I mean, last year, we were past the deadline planting because we got rained out. I mean, so we were past July 15th. So it's always something there, but
yes.
So it fits all size.
I was going to say, so it doesn't matter the size of the grower then at all. So that was the question I had. So, but you just answered that.
Yeah, when we started working with the USDA back in 2012, part of the mandate of the 2014 Farm Bill was that the access to be able to file electronically had to be available to farmers of all sizes. So if you're really super technological, we have the ability for you to use all your precision ag data. You can also just upload your boundaries on a thumb drive if you want. You can also, we have a mapping, a geospatial tool in our system where you can just pick your maps right off of a map. You can just pick them right there. So fits everybody, one size fits all. And we do have a savings calculator on our website. So if you want to go to our website, you can punch in some of your information and find out how much money you could save if you moved from your map-based reporting to digital.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Good. That's good information. Do y'all have, do you have representation across the whole country, or do you have, are you actually working with a good bit of growers across the full country now? Okay.
Yeah. We're across the entire country. And we actually are seeing across the board adoption in almost all of the states that are agricultural producing. So we do specialty crops as well as row crops.
Yep. So, I got a question. Can you file your income tax now by just mailing it in, or is it all electronic?
It's
It's a great question. I think you can still mail it in, can't you? I mean, I don't know
know.
anyone who
I know that the last couple that I've worked with, everything was electronic.
you
Yeah,
had to
I
do
just
it,
wondered.
huh?
I was just thinking about.
Mhm.
So it'll end up electronic
Yeah.
from necessity. Yeah. So you're just getting ahead of the curve here. So what's the risk if we ignore getting on this using this technology?
Well, I think that I'll talk about the benefits and then I'll talk about the risk. The benefits are, as you mentioned, it's getting ahead of the curve. With the One Farmer, One File announcement by Brooke Rollins, everything's going this way. And we also do some work with NAS as well. So I think what we're going to be seeing is more streamlining of data going into USDA rather than submitting to 5 different agencies separate data. That is coming. It has been discussed by USDA already. So we allow you the opportunity to control your data, and that's where the risk comes in. We sit as a company and we serve as your conduit to submit what you want into the USDA.
Mhm.
If you wait, and as there are discussions about USDA, they're working with Palantir on this One Farmer, One File. I'm not sure if you saw the announcement on that. They're talking about potentially bringing data directly in from your OEM. Some of the risk of not moving forward and controlling your data is, will that control be taken away? So as you think about working with us, your data is yours. You control it. It's your ability to submit into the USDA what you want submitted.
And you're not going to sell it.
No, no. It's right in our privacy policy that you'll see this right on our website. That data is yours. You control it. All we do is help facilitate the submission into the USDA.
Yep. So, the data is, we're all protective of the data.
100%.
So, I have a question on. So, who really started MyAgData? Like, and was it a grower? Was it somebody that was conscious of, service orientation and concerned about the grower? Kind of give me a little bit of who's the background? What was the mindset to start this?
Yeah. Well, I think that who owns us is a great testament to that. We were founded by cooperatives. That's who founded MyAgData. We were founded by cooperatives that saw that they had a need to support growers as they thought about removing the friction. And, as a cooperative, you're always trying to find ways to make growers more efficient or save them money, at least in most cases. And they saw this regulatory reporting as a way to have a service that took some of the wasted time that a grower spends on working on paperwork. They don't want to be sitting working on paperwork. They want to be in the farm working on making their farms more efficient. So we're formed and continue to be owned by cooperatives.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's fun, and you got a board to answer to. So you got hired by a board.
I did get hired by a board, and I actually also sit on our board now. So I get to represent the common shareholders, and so that kind of comes full circle of knowing that our mission is to serve the grower. And as you think about MyAgData, what makes us a little different is what you pointed out. We're not selling you seed. We're not selling you product. We're not using your data to try to figure out what else can I sell you. We're here to help you submit your data into the USDA. We don't do anything else.
And coming soon to the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
You are? No. Okay.
Not to
All
the
right.
IRS.
Okay. Well, I always get frustrated. I was going to pay your $250 fee and let you handle my IRS talks. So,
I had somebody once say, you fixed the RMA and FSA. Can you now fix the DMV? I'm like, yeah, I think that's not a problem.
Yeah, the DMV, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. So, well, how can people find you, and what's a key takeaway you'd like to leave our listeners with? And
yeah, so you can find us at myagdata.com. Go ahead and take a look out there. You'll find a contact us page where You will find pictures of our real people that come from farming families, and they will help you with any questions you have. You'll see you'll see Chad's picture out there and a little bio about him. And when you call him, it goes directly to his mobile. So this is a company where you're going to talk to people in the United States, and we're here to help you. And again, myagdata.com. And then just as a takeaway, I want to throw out to your growers that those of us in ag tech are very close to and understand the really important problems that growers are trying to solve right now. And number one on your list is probably not easing the friction to the USDA. However, if we can help save you even $3,000 and save you some time, that's where we think we can help in this economy that is just really challenging. So what I would leave your listeners with is, let us take a little bit of the burden off of you and make at least USDA reporting easier for you, so that you can focus on some of the really big problems you have on your plate right now.
Yep. Well, farming, the planting season's in full swing, and so there's a lot of things that aren't priorities, but July the 15th is coming up.
It is. And it's really important for you to have accurate data going into the USDA. It's been a really big focus at the USDA this year, and it's going to continue that way. So the accuracy of your data is going to become more and more important as you think about payments and programs through the USDA.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for your commitment to ag, and and to the whole team. We've enjoyed having conversation and working with y'all. So thank you again for being on the podcast with us today.
Yep.
Absolutely. Such an honor.
We need likes and subscribes and all that good stuff, and positive comments, and we even take negative ones. So we need all the above. But it's an honor, and too bad you have to work with Chad. He's a lot to handle. So, but
he's awesome, and I'm so thankful for him for connecting us in this great egg community, and really glad to be a part of your show. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.